Alright, and welcome everybody. This is OCE Racing, round 11, Brazil. One of my favourite tracks, certainly one of the favourite tracks of the drivers. We've got the multiplayer liveries on the cars this evening. Naturally, they are all in Formula 1 cars. I am the Biggles, and I will be commentating this hope to be exciting race, actually, with the 9 drivers on the grid. All starting to make their way out on the track, get a feel for it. You can see it's a little bit overcast and cloudy. Weather reports that I have here up into commentary box from Race Control are showing that it's going to be a clear qualifying session. As for the race, well, we shall see about that anytime soon. But most of the drivers starting to make their way out now. It's good to get a nice banker lap in. Most people are going to be going out on those soft tyres first. Get a bit of a feel for the track. Track temperature at the moment is currently 29 degrees, good for the tyres. Air temperature is 22, very comfortable too for the drivers. And we shall see what sort of qualifying pace that we're going to have. We got Jills, Chris, Joe, Gwankley. I'm going to screw up some of the names, my apologies. Salty Sandman, Peanuts, Killaroo, Confirmed, and Piro. I might end up calling me Pedro. Sorry if I do that. It'll be Piro. Let's go on board and see who is out. Most everybody's pretty much bunched up at the moment too as well. The McLaren at the moment. This is the first of the lads that are out. He's got another car bunched up right behind him as well. That's Piro. So there could be a little bit of a balance between these two guys. Actually, he's boxing. So we'll go with Piro. This is going to be the first to start his lap time. Apologies, I do not know all the corners. I do not have my track map up. So we'll just ride on board with Piro as he gets that first sector over and done with. At the moment, 16.8 on that one. He's the first to set the benchmark down. We shall see the other times start tumbling down a little later on. Now he's going to navigate up the hill here. Tricky section here. You got a hard braking right. It's kind of a sweeping here, and you got to get under the brakes really heavy a little bit there. Climb back up the hill. Take a little bit of the curve, not too much. Strict corner cutting will be turned on, and you'll get penalized very easy. Now the climb down the hill. Pretty much flat out here. Take a little bit of the curb and get this hooked up right. This is where you get a lot of invalidations if you cut it too much. He's got that one spot on. Now the climb up the hill with the sunshine in your eyes a little bit, reflecting off the visor. Nothing that Piro needs to worry about right now. Use as much as that inside curb as he can and set his first flying lap, and that will come down as a 108.2. Further down the field, who do we have? I'm going to go on board actually with Confirmed at the moment. He's got the fastest first sector. As you'd expect, the time's tumbling down. Now he's going to navigate through this tricky section here. Now I've got a little surprise for you. There's a palm tree to the right. You'll see. That is a little lonely palm tree that I believe is on turn 9 on the right. You'll check that one. And oops, well, he's cooked that one a little bit too much. And that he's going to have to get back there if there's any damage. Let's see if we catch that one on the replay for you. Any feature that we got here? Yes, we do. Luckily it's working. That's great. Here you go. I think that was just after turn 10 or something there. Just cooked a little bit too much. Not enough temperature in those tyres just yet. And he is still Gwankley now. We just caught towards the end of his qualifying flying lap. And he's made a little mistake as well. Let's see if we got that little end of that. Oh, it wasn't enough time to record that. So, let's go back further down to Chris. Now, he's got a 17.0. A lot of the other drivers have invalidated their laps, so I won't go on board with them at the moment to show. And here we go. Oh, twitchy moment. So, yellow flags are flying up ahead as well. It's going to have to lift as well. There it is, Confirmed coming back on the track. So, is he going to have enough time to get this pace up to start another flying lap? It's going to be interesting. Oh, he's going to have to lift off on that one. I don't think he had enough speed. Anyway, that's invalidated his lap. Let's go on board with Jills. I won't screw up his name this time. It's not Girlsy, it's Jills. So he's got a 35.2. He's going to be climbing up the hill now to set his time. He's good. He's on the mediums as well, so he's taking a little bit more of a gamble than the other drivers. See what time he can slot in P2. That's pretty impressive too for those times. Let's go on board with Pedro again. So he's going even quicker than what he has already. He's already got the provisional pole. As he crosses the line, he will go quicker. Will he cut into the 107s? He's lifted. He lifted a lot towards the end there, so I guess he wants to save those tyres if he feels that it's one of the most important laps that he wants to do further down the field. Chris at the moment still yet to set a time. Let's check the livery out of his car. Nice little green and black. I like those colours there. P6 he'll slot in, so he gets time on the board. Fastest third sector did go to this man. So he set the benchmark for that one. Who else is on a bit of a flyer at the moment? Let's go to P5. That's the Killaroo. He wants to beat that 109 at the moment. He can. He's got a pretty quick first sector. 16.9. The fastest is 16.8, so he's only just 1 tenth down. It looks like Joe might actually be going faster than that. We will go to Joe at the moment. He's going to cross the line. Then we'll go back to the Killaroo. Joe's got the fastest second sector. If he can hook up the third sector, he's definitely got provisional pole at this point. Look, he takes the inside line. Really close there to cross the line because you want the shortest path. He gets P2, but didn't quite make it. Certainly close enough. Let's go back to the Killaroo. As he's going to cross the line, he'll definitely improve on his time. But how much can he improve? 109. He improves just by 1 place. Still in the 109s. 109.6. Benchmark set for the 108s. That's where you want to be at the moment. Back to Chris at the moment. I don't think he's going to improve on his time. Oh, he does actually. He hooked up that third sector. Taking the microphone out of my mouth on that one. Good job for him. He's cracked into the 108. So that's the benchmark the drivers need to set. They all have the same equipment. So it's going to come down to man versus machine. They are all running the McLaren engines on the multiplayer car. The only thing that's different is the paint. And that's a nice looking livery. As we could do that, let's go through and have a look. There's nobody's really setting a flying lap at this point. Let's look at the livery from the different cars and the multiplayer cars that these guys have decided to choose. We can check out Joe's right now. Joe's running that white and black, or dark grey and black per se. We saw Chris's before. Let's go to the Killaroos. Have a look at the Killaroos. He's got the purples. He's going to box as well, as most of the drivers as well. We'll go on to Gwankley. He's got a bit of a wild colour scheme on his car. Bit of purples and a bit of splash of paint. Looks like somebody's just got a paint gun and just gone a little bit crazy. It's kind of like that camouflage livery that Red Bull used to use years ago during testing to try to throw off the opponents for trying to get an idea of some of those goody aerodynamic parts and things like that in the car. Make it very hard to spot in the cameras and stuff as the car's traveling around the circuit at 200 plus kilometers an hour. As this man right now is going to be doing. So his first sector is 16.9. He's 1 tenth down as well from, I believe that was the confirmed was the fastest first sector at the moment. Let's see what he can hook up there for a second sector. Little lock up going into the final corner. This is also classed as a corner, but even though it's just basically a curved straight, here we go. DRS open, keep it really close, tight to the inside here. Cross the line. What will he improve? No, he won't. So that he's got a lot of time to make up on that third sector. I think that lock-up must have cost him. He caught towards the end of that. Let's go to Gilles. Certainly wants to improve on his time once again. He's not that much down this time. He is within that 1 tenth of a second from that first sector. That's the important one these drivers need to make up. Oh, it goes a little tight on that one. It's going to compromise his exit speed out of here. Into turn 9, I believe, climbing up the hill. This sweeping right-hand corner. You can easily get a little oversteer moment there, but that's nothing that Jules has to worry about now. You can see the sunshine is starting to come out a little bit now. So it means the track temperature's actually increased a little bit. It's now 30, 1 extra degree. He's got the fastest second sector. What can Jules do? Can he get across the line? This could be provisional pole, at least second row. If he can hook up that all-important third sector. He's got that one in the bag, and he's the first man to crack into the 107s. Does it with style. 7/10 quicker than Piro's fastest time. So the new benchmark is in town with 6 minutes remaining. Who else is on a flying lap at the moment? Nobody seems to be improving on their time. Let's go back to Gwankley. Gwanky. I'm not going to get that correct, mate. There we go. Further back behind him. Well, let's go to Peanuts at the moment, because he has got a pretty good, very similar pace. In fact, he has the fastest first sector by, no, he is just 2,000th of a second. And that little oversteer moment has definitely compromised his exit. His second sector is not going to be what he needs to match Gilles. And he might be just lifting off on this one, or he's just going to try to commit to it anyway. He should still be able to improve on his time, but I think challenging for that front row will not be on this lap at the moment. 34.9 middle sector. That's a half a second down. But he's in the 109s. He needs to crack into the 108s if he can hook up the third sector. I definitely think he'll improve, and he will get P3, and he will know that that mistake was made in that middle sector, so he's got more time to find. In that, let's check his livery out there as well. That's the black and white. So, yep. Well, drivers know where there's time to be made. At least he was happy he can move up into the 108s, have that banker lap set down as well. These drivers are going to be boxing and putting on another set of softs. I think that gambles for, I think that was Jules earlier, to try to set that fastest lap on a mediums. He's abandoned that tactic at this point. Here we got another. Yeah, the drivers are crossing line at the moment. I can't see which one that is. That's 29. That's Salty Sandman at the moment. Now, Salty, let's go on board with Salty Sandman, because he needs to set a flying lap at the moment. He's got no times on the board. With 4 minutes to go, he can't afford to not set a time, at least because it's easy to invalidate around here as well. Not as easy as it is on some of the tracks, but certainly run a little bit too wide. FIA will penalise you. 17.26, so he's about half a second down at the moment from our provisional pole. Now he's got he could have sweep a little bit left there. Might have just misjudged his line into spotting the apex. Now climbing up the hill, you can already see some of the track marks of people have actually gone off early. We caught a replay of a couple of those, but at the moment, most people have been keeping it on the track. We're going to go with this. Joe's going faster at the moment, but we're going to stay on board with Salty Sandman so we can set a time at least and get a little bit of air time. So we can also check his livery out there. He's also running with a black. He's got a black, red, and white livery there. So he's going to come across the line. Set his first time. What will it be? I'd say he's plotting in around P7. No, he actually doesn't improve. Well, sets a time. The person who is improving, we're going to go on board with Joe. That's Joe currently running P2, setting purples. So if Joe can make this third sector hook up, Joe has provisional pole at this moment. Once again, keeping nice and tight in the exit, very tight to the wall. Joe will get it by 107.3. So shapes 2/10 off Jules. So this is when the times are starting to come down at the bottom end of qualifying. 2 minutes remaining, just under 2 minutes, under 3 minutes. These guys don't want to chew through that rubber in qualifying as the track is starting to warm up a little bit more. It's gripped. A few of the drivers that are behind on track at the moment are invalidating their laps. We're going to go to Gwanky. He's going a 16.8. He has a nice first sector there, and you can see up ahead there's a driver getting completely out of the road. Doesn't throw him off guard. Runs very wide there, but lucky to get away with that. Does not get that all-important invalidation. He can afford probably to invalidate the lap right now, but he does not want to do it. He wants to improve because we're getting down to when this is his last chance, and he can see up the road there. Oh, that's That's Peril getting out of the way for him. I don't know if it just kind of just caught him off guard. That does catch the guys a little bit of distractions. All it takes when you're trying to find 1/10 and 2/10 of a lap. He wants to break into the 108s. Could he do this in the 108s? It could be very close. It's getting into late 108s. At least wanting to try to improve. As he crosses the line, he does not improve. And a big lockup going into that first corner. And if they're going to be the fastest time that he set on that lap, no, it won't be. So he'll be lucky he gets to save those tyres. Actually, he doesn't have to worry about saving those tyres because that wasn't his fastest lap on those tyres, as you know. The fastest lap that you set on the tyres will be the ones that you'll start the race with. So you got to nurse those tyres home after you set that bank of a lap. Let's go. We're on board with confirmed at the moment. It doesn't seem to be. We're going to go back actually to Chris. That's the yellow, green and black there. Chris Mania. He's setting his first sector time 116.8. Now he's in the middle sector climbing up the hill. Now, confirmed is going faster. That is behind him. You can't see confirmed, obviously. There's a little bit of a gap, but he is just a bit further down the road. Confirmed is 2/10 faster than Chris at the moment. Oh, confirmed has invalidated his lap, so we'll stay on board with Chris. As he sets his middle sector for 34.9. Runs really wide. That's definitely compromised anything he has. And he's got to get back into the box with 12 seconds to go. He's not going to be able to start another flying lap. He'll have to commit to this one. I doubt he'll improve unless he can pull something out of the bag. Chris will slot into P6 at the moment for his qualifying. I think confirmed might have been a little upset about that because he was certainly setting a flying lap. He definitely would have improved on his time because he was lighting up some purples, but that's not enough at this point now. So Jules at the moment, he's invalidated his lap, so these guys are just pushing the absolute limits of the track. But the track doesn't take any prisoners. It will punish you. The more you punish the track will punish you back. So as the track is punishing a lot of drivers at the moment, they're all showing a lot of reds and whites. And reds on the timing board means they've invalidated their lap. It will not be counted. And the whites obviously just means that they're not improving on their times at the moment. We're going to go on board with Peanuts actually. He set a 16.8. That's 2/10 off the fastest. Still not too bad, remember, as a time. If he can manage to hook up. But he has a personal best at least, a 34.7 for the second sector. Let's see what he can do. If he can pull something out of the bag for the third sector and see if he can get on to the first. Well, he's maybe ahead of P-Roll. Yes, he does. So he'll be on second row of the grid, but he'll at least be ahead of P-Roll. P8, let's go back to the Killaroo. Can he improve on his time? He's in P8. He wants to get into the 108s at least. This third sector can do anything about it? I don't think so. That's 109s for him. We're going to have a bit of a spread field here at the moment. And said to be other drivers at the moment. There are a few drivers on their flying laps. That's 21.1 here. Whoop. That's it. Sorry. I'm looking at the track map and not focusing on the track because that is qualifying over. So, a good little battle at the front is formed, and then we have a little second row battle. And then we have a little bit of a midfield battle, which is going to be good. So you can see Joe at the moment. Oh, and Peanuts has a 5 position qualifying penalty. That was interesting. So there's your times. 107s for our front two. 107.3, almost 2/10 there from Jules. So Joel and Jules will be interesting going into that first corner. Squabble, Peanuts and Pedro, they're into the 108s there. So there's a few of the drivers in the 108s actually. You can just see from P3 all the way down into Chris' position in P6. Gwankley, Killaroo, Salty Sandman, and Swifty, I think, came in very last minute for the qualifying. They'll be battling it out as the drivers are going to get ready. And still overcast conditions. Can a little bit of rain spice things up a little bit in Brazil, in Interlagos. This is a 4.2 kilometer. Let's say almost a 4.3 kilometer track. Pit stop around here is going to cost you about 23 seconds. In and out. Teams don't make many mistakes in this game. In fact, they don't make any mistakes when it comes to a sticky wheel nut from any of the jackmen. But What they will have to do sometimes is obviously replace those all-important carbon fiber front wings that a lot of drivers tend to lose. A few of those little end caps. Most of the drivers are hoping they don't want to have to do that today, but that's going to add at least a 5-second or 6-second. Are we going to have a formation lap, or are we going to be underway? Yes, we are going to have a formation lap. Gives me a little bit of time to have a breather and go through the drivers. Well, yeah, drivers have to do their preparations to get their tyres nice and up to temperature, as well as their brakes. It does count in this game. As your predicted pit stop strategy is pending, it's going to be a dry race, which is looking like to be a dry race. It might get a little cooler. Actually, it will get a little hotter before it gets a little cooler, so I'm going to be switching from the softs to the mediums. Some people might take a gamble and go softs to hards at the start of the race. If they get compromised and get into a bit of a tangle, that will have to happen, obviously, because a pit stop costs you 23 seconds. Add another 5 or 6 seconds for a new front wing change, and you're looking at a 30-plus pit stop. The Biggles, I'll be commentating this one alone this evening for you. You can see the palm tree right there in the background. There's a little palm tree that's kind of sitting out by itself. That was brought to my attention actually the other day by a Brazilian driver who lives just near the circuit. And you can actually walk this circuit during the day. If there is no event on, it is open to the public to walk around and check it out, ride a bike, whatever you want to do. Can't drive a car around it, but you can see that, and he pointed out that little palm tree sitting out by itself. It does have barriers around it, but I don't believe anybody's had it collided with it in Formula 1 before, otherwise I would have noticed it. Anyway, the drivers are going to start lining up on the grid. Going to be interesting to that first corner. We're going to see a lot of cars trying to sneak through there. Welcome everybody on Twitch. Give us a shout out. I'm reading the messages if you are typing anything. Can't type back to you, but I can certainly relate to it. Let's keep an eye on Joe, Gilles, Piero, and Confirmed all at the front. As the lights are out, and away we go. Underway in Interlagos. Looks like a good launch there from Joe and Jules. They're going to get through there nice and easy. Most of the drivers are actually going to be taking it very well. And there's a spin at the back there. That looks like it's Chris. I think that is definitely Chris. We're going to keep on board at the front at the moment. Here's a battle between Joe and Jules. And look at this. At the moment, Pedro is also in the mix of this. Looks like Jules has got past Joe. As Joe's run Jules is running very wide at the moment. Still 3 abreast at the front. Jules just gets ahead. And it looks like Peter is making a run on Joe. And somebody's going a little twitchy behind. That's Gwenkley. And there's, a little wide. Somebody's running very wide. That was Joelly. Gwenkley. Sorry. Maybe caught that one on the replay, which was trying to show a little later there. So through there, Jules. Peter up into P2. Joe P3. Killaroo P5. Confirmed P4. Sorry, P5. Swiftly. Gwankley losing a couple of places there. Chris losing a couple of places. Peanuts P8. Salty Sandman running at the last at the moment, but everybody is still through. No safety car, no virtual safety car. Maybe a little bit of damage. We'll see if anybody has to box early. So far, so good. This field to start to spread out. That was a very good battle up the front there. Cost Joe a couple of positions. As we have a pass at the back there as well. Here we go. Oh, there's 3, 4 coming down the hill. Somebody's compromised. That looks to be like Confirmed got compromised here. This is a 3-way squabble. Let's see if Gwankley can get past. We're going to have to go back to Joe, but Joe's putting big pressure at the back at the moment. Oh, that's just timing glitches, unfortunately. He's still showing 3 temps down. He was showing very close there before. There's battle up ahead, as you can see there, with Peanuts and Swiftly. As he's going to climb up the hill. Oh, here we go. Peanuts is thinking about ascend up the inside. If he makes it stick, which he does, at least it moves him up at a P5. So timing glitches start to sort itself out. Chris is trying to come back at the moment. He's tucked up behind Gwankley. He's losing a couple of places. We're going to show those positions actually for you real quick now. There are your position changes from the start of the race. At the moment, you can see Chris trying to make his way back up. Past Gwankley, he does, so he's regaining one of those positions he's lost off the start. He'll be happy with that one. Peanuts, let's go on board with him. At the moment, is he going to go around the outside of the Killaroo? Yes, he does with that DRS so much more. Slipstream, that was the second straight. That's the back straight there. So Peanut's doing very good at the moment. Up 4 positions from the start. So he's been one of the gainers. There's a battle now with Joe and Peter. Am I still getting this timing glitches again, trying to throw me off guard? Well, we got a second. Let's have a look at that little replay before the squabble that was occurring at the start of the race. As you can see, that was the battle there with Joe. And there is where you see Guapley, I think, losing a few positions. Guackley. I will get it right at some point. Speaking of which, he's a little further down the road there, just out of DRS range of P7. Big lockup going into that first corner. You'll see a lot of drivers starting to do that. He's now in that DRS range, which he wanted to get that crucial thing. You can see he'll shave at least 2 tenths, 3 tenths maybe. No, he won't. His downforce setup might be a little bit different there to Chris, or Chris is just adjusting the level of ERS management. I won't actually tell you about the amount of ERS. I won't actually display it when I'm broadcasting. I don't like, in case drivers have engineers out there listening. And trust me, those engineers do listen to every little detail that goes on and relay it to their drivers, even when it is a little delayed on Twitch and YouTube. They still like to get all the information that they can to relay to the drivers. So I won't give them any of that juicy information. We'll let them try to figure it out, earn their paycheck as engineers, or they can rely on Jeff. So the battle up ahead, we're starting to see a little bit of a gap forming there between Gilles and Joe, as we're on lap 5 of 36 so far. No safety cars, and nobody has boxed yet as well. So if there has been any damage, Jules runs really wide there as well. That might have compromised a little bit, but does not pick up a penalty. The first penalty goes to Swifty. Speaking of pits, Killaroo's the first one to box. So I wonder if he's taking a different gamble. Front wing change, there it is. I was wondering if anybody got any damage. Well, the Roo did. I wonder if the Killaroo put a Roo bar on that car and didn't hopefully hit a Kangaroo, and he's one of the first drivers that have switched on to the hards, so he wants to go to the end. Hards will be able to go to the end. Get a Roo bar on that car there, and don't hit any Kangaroos, Killaroo. He's back anyway. Gee, Swifty must have been really far back actually, because Killaroo's now exiting the pits, and swiftly, there is a T in there. He's 9.7 seconds down the road at the moment. Still running on softs. If he has any damage on that car, just want to see if I can catch it. It's the reason why he's just running a little bit back, or he had any glitches or something like that. Oh, he's running wide. No, he doesn't. He's picked up a time penalty already. The first one to pick up the time penalty. Further back, Joe at the moment. Don't be able to do too much about Jules' pace. He's fallen back just a little bit, 2.2 seconds away from our race leader. The fastest man on the track is Pedro. Well, he set the fastest lap at the moment, a 1:10.5. The fastest man on the track last lap was our race leader of Jules. Pedro's just having a little bit of a lonely race at the moment. You can't even barely just see Peanuts behind him. But he can't see Joe up ahead. And that's a little disheartening for some of the drivers, because what you want to do is you want to be able to see. You want to be able to see that driver up ahead. It kind of gives you that little inspiration. You're trying to make those gains rather than just relying completely on your timing clock to see. Still can't see Joe up ahead, even down the back straight. So because he's 5.7 seconds down the road, his drivers at this point, when they realize they are a little bit back, will not be able to make too many gains on the drivers up ahead, then they have to try to look at crunching some numbers of Jeff down the pit lane, see what they can do for some sort of strategy. But so far, well, the man that's gained the most amount of places is this man that we're on board with right now, Mr. Peanuts. He's gained 4 positions off the grid, so that's worked out very well. Obviously starting in 8th, and now he's making his way up into P4 as Joe gets the first second time penalty. That might definitely, those penalties will definitely come back and haunt you later on, but at least for now, it's not something he needs to worry about. We have a yellow somewhere. Somebody just running wide, I believe. Nobody stopped on track. So Peanuts at the moment, he can see Pero up ahead, and he can see him alright because he's actually gaining at the moment, 1.4 seconds. So he likes the 4s, gained 4 positions. Now he's 1.4, now he's 1.3. Wants to get everything he can to get in that DRS toe. It's going to make all the difference down that back straight and, this main straight and the back straight. As they're going to be heavy into the corner here, you're going to see a little bit of a drag strip forming there. After the drivers start braking heavy into that corner, a little later into the race, it's going to end up, it's going to look like an aircraft runway with all the rubber laid down on there. It'll actually give them a little bit of traction as well. And you can see Peanuts is definitely making little ends of gains here at the moment on Pedro. Not as much as he probably wants, but we're going to look on board from Pedro, sorry, I thought I was going to say Pedro, it's Pedro. As you can see looking behind there, you can see Peanuts in his mirrors. At the moment he's still comfortably, as swiftly is being backmarked. He actually looks ghosted unless that's, I think he's actually driving in the car at the moment, just a bit of a lonely race at the back. Let's get back with Peanuts. So now he's getting close now, 1.1 seconds. This is the closest battle that's on track at the moment. Everybody is still yet to make a pit stop apart from the one man that has made a pit stop already, and that was Killaroo. I'll show you those tyre information. Let's go on board Peanuts for a second. We'll just listen to that engine. Alright, so now it's game on as they climb the hill. Oh, yep, my computer's reminding me. Sorry about that. To free up some disk space. Don't you worry about that, Windows. We have a race on at the moment. Joe's boxing. So he's going to be the first driver to go out there and give that mediums a go. We're on lap 10 of 36. He's going to make those go 26 laps as Gilles picks up his first penalty. Let's see where Joe's going to slot out at the moment. I think he will just be behind Grankley. And Grankley's going to be coming around the main straight right now. No, he won't. Actually, yeah, he'll be ahead of him. That's not a problem, Grankley. Joe will be ahead just behind Chris there. But let's go back on Peanuts. This is as close as he's been for the last 10 laps now. Well, sorry, 9 laps because Joe, remember, lost a couple places. Peanuts, sorry, has gained some places. Peter has gained one as well. Let's see what Peanuts can try to make it move now. These little tyres, remember, are starting to fall off the cliff a little bit as well. So, going to be a bit of a gamble. And you're going to try to send it. Let's see what he can do. He's got the extra speed coming out there with the DRS open. And as long as he can make it stick through here, you always get that comeback challenge, that switcheroo from the other driver. But I think that's job done for Peanuts. I think Pero did not put too much of a fight up on that one. He doesn't want to risk chewing those tyres to death. Or even worse, getting a penalty. Or getting off there as Joe on fresh tyres gets past Chris pretty easy as well. That's another move we did. Go and catch that one there. But Joe's on the fresh tyres as Guankley now boxes. Joe's obviously making some gains at the moment because he's setting some pretty good lap times. Does have a penalty. Oh, a little bit of a lock up there. He's trying to get those tyres up to temperature. This is his first lap, essentially, that he's doing on these medium tyres. Another lock up as well from Joe, so just trying to get used to these fresh mediums. I see he is making some time, obviously, as the leaders are starting to lose some time. Pito is not doing too much about it. There's your confirmation of the official pit stop window, courtesy of AWS. Let's get back to Killaroo at the moment because he's on those fresh hards at the moment. Guankley has boxed for a second set of softs, so the Guank is going for another pit stop strategy because he will have to box again. Obviously, he has done 10 laps on the softs and he's put some fresh softs on again, unless that's a mistake from the team. Sometimes that does occur. Otherwise, he's definitely going for the two pit stop. He'll have to box again. He'll have the pace, obviously, to get on with it, but it's a tall order as Salty now boxes because he's a minute down from the race leaders, and with still a pit stop to come. That's a lot of work. A lot of work. Salty's gone for the hards, so he decided that those mediums weren't quite going to bring it to the end. So he's decided he might have those hards and see if those mediums fall off the cliff a little bit, and it can help him out there. 3-second time penalty goes to Joe as well. That's his first one for this evening. Second one, my apologies. He's got 2 of them. As he sets the fastest lap, that's probably the reason why he's getting those time penalties. He's pushing it like absolutely mad, trying to get a little bit of an advantage, but, well, even though he's got the fastest lap, he's the fastest man on track at 110 flat almost. Like, picking up another penalty. That's 3 seconds to try to make up on top of the 3 he already has. 6 seconds of penalties now. Further up the field, Pedro's not still comfortably, I think, biding his time behind Peanuts. Remember, Peanuts made that overtake earlier. And Joe is behind him with fresh tyres. Now, at the moment, our race leader of Jules, and we have a car stopped out on track. That is one of the hard runners. I think that's Salty. Yes, it is. There he is there. So he's come out and didn't like those hard tyres too much. And he's rejoining on track. Showing him ghosted at the moment. He's back in control of the car. And, and he's completely just smashed the car. And he's decided he's definitely had enough of that. There's the replay of that as Peanuts is boxing. But we'll check that replay out. And there it is. There. Straight into the wall. It definitely had enough of that. This Peanuts going to slide out. It's Peanuts pits time. Pit stop time seemed a very little long there. He slotted back out in P5. And he's gone to the hards as well. None of the virtual safety car, so is this going to be a pit stop for Jules? No, it won't. The virtual safety car is over. Drive-through penalty for Killaroo. Jules going to box? No, he won't. He's going to stay out on these tyres. Maybe this guy's we're praying for a safety car. Wasn't going to work. We're already having somebody visiting the pits again. That's Killaroo. Oh, that's right. Killaroo has to serve a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lanes. Well, that's going to drop him back out. I think swiftly at the moment. Who's boxing anyway? No, actually that's Piro boxing. So from P2, Piro's done 13 laps, 14 laps essentially on these tyres. Let's see what his pit stop can be. He's not serving any penalty. And nice and quick, no front wing change. He's in and out. He's gone to the hards. And he's going to be slotting in behind Peanuts. So the little pit stop there from Peanuts has worked out quite well for him. He's going to be regaining ahead of Pito and actually gained a little bit more time as well too, because remember, Pito he did pass Piro on track and he has gained at least a second or so out of the pit stop, so that undercut has worked out quite well. There's a last place man, Swiftly, has boxed and put some... Oh, he's serving a penalty. He didn't even box. There it is. And he's crashed out there too as well. Something's stuck with that car. He's completely lost his front end. Safety car's been deployed. There's a replay of that. And it's going to hurt the race leaders, I think, as they've just passed the box. Oh, the replay's a little choppy on that one. My apologies. Something's going on with my computer. Oh no. Oh dear. My computer's completely frozen up. Oh no. Oop. I think we're back. I think my internet connection's just throwing a little bit of a wobbly at the moment. Nope, they've lost me. We'll be back in a minute.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. Go, go, go. We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy. We're coming up to the safety car now. Do not pass it. You are the leader. Follow the safety car. Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap. Clear. is 1.5 seconds. Has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. Gap ahead is 1.9 seconds. The car ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race. Spare energy, use your overtake button. The car behind is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap. Is looking really good. You're managing it well. lap to car in front is 3.0 seconds.